Hello, everyone. Before we start this week's episode of Slightly Average Guys, we want to tell you about a special event. Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time, we're going to do a Slightly Average Guys drinking fest. We're going to be hanging out, playing games, drinking, and there might even be some special guests, so please make sure you join us. This isn't going to be a show format, it's just to come out and hang. So come join us live Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time. We hope that you enjoy this episode of Slightly Average Guys.
Welcome back to your Slightly Average podcast. Again, we just talk about random stuff that happens throughout our weeks, throughout our lives. We have a lot of fun with it, and we kick back and relax, and we appreciate you guys joining us. So welcome. Again, thank you for your patience.
Welcome one. Welcome all. Welcome everybody to Paradise City. The topic for today is one that I have not heard the story on. I only know the punchline, and it's funny to me, and I want to know how ridiculous it is. So for everybody that we took a couple of weeks off, me and Ryan had to go to a funeral back in Indiana, so we were flying. We were not on the same airplane, so this is why I do not know this story. But I do know there's something that happened to Ryan on an airplane with a bathroom, and it's not a mile high success story, right? At least I don't think it is. You know, maybe it was. You explain where you were at in the country, and if international law allows for
where is this going?
What actually legally happened to you in said bathroom?
I'll just ignore that because that confused me.
Okay.
But I'll just start out with my story. So we go back and we're there for a funeral, right? And you know, it's not the happiest of times, but it was a decent time. But it's just a lot of family, lot of family. And honestly, it was kind of frustrating at some points, right? So when you're in the airport heading back, I'm just like, I'm ready to be back. So guess what that means? I'm drinking. Okay. I have maybe 3 tall boys of Blue Moons, so maybe 20 ounces. It looked like a bigger glass than a 16, right? It was a beefy one, so maybe 20, 24 ounces. I don't know what the glass up of that is. So I have 3 of those. Then we head over to the gate, my parents and I, and because we're all flying on the same flight. And I go to another area, and I was like, I'm just gonna go grab one more beer. Thinking it was another 16 ounce because I saw some of the glasses that other people were drinking at a different bar within the airport, right? No, it's another 24 pounder. So I pound 4 tall boys of Blue Moons before I get on this plane, okay? That sets the precedence of the story. I go into the plane. I clearly have to go to the bathroom, okay?
As soon as you get on?
Yeah, pretty much. I sit down, I go before we take off, essentially. I ask, is there time? Can I go to the bathroom before we take off? That's how early it is. So I go to the bathroom. I get in, no problem. I'm not really paying attention, right? You just slide the door shut. That's all you do. And I'm finishing up, washing my hands.
What? You had the perfect time cough there. Washing my
Oh, really? No, I was just washing my hands.
Okay.
So one, I don't think either time, I had to go twice on the plane. I had the problem the first time, and then I thought about it so much that I was like, okay, I can't mess this up again. But both times, I don't think I flushed the toilet, and I feel so bad for the next person that went in there. So that's the first funny part of this. Thank you. That's the first funny part, because I was like, they were long peas, right? I had a lot of alcohol before I went on there. And so the first time, which was the best time, I open the door and you just slide it, right? It's like a little thing and it just goes flat. I get done, wash my hands, and I just go to unlock it real quick, slide the little bolt, and I just pull on the door this way, or left or right, I think it was, depending on which side of the plane you're on. And I'm pulling, I'm like, all right, whatever, it's not working. Pull a little bit harder, and I look around this thing. I'm just like, okay, it definitely it definitely doesn't just go like this, right? It doesn't just do one of these. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be some sign here. I don't see a single sign anywhere. And so all of a sudden I just give it a little, a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more. And it's still not going. So again, you see the cracks in it where it clearly flexes and bends, right? I'm to a point, I start banging on the creases of the door. but I'm banging
No.
on the opposite end, right? The doors come inward and then they
No.
slide. They don't go outward and then slide. So the lady literally knocks on the door. Sir, are you okay?
Can't get out.
Yep, I'm finished up. I'm finished up. I'm like, yep, I'm okay. Sir, are you done? Are you done? Can we come in? Can we open the door? And yes, you can open the door. They literally have to open the door for me.
So
It is.
you can't be the first person that's happened to, but like you
That is
had to
very
have been
true.
so fucking embarrassed.
I was so embarrassed because as I was boarding the plane, I come across the same flight attendant, right? And you know how you're not in the exit rows. You have to be above a certain age, and you have to be willing and able, all this good stuff, right? So I joke around with her. She goes, I'm a little tipsy. I go, I'm 10. Can I please sit there? I'm clearly not 10, right? So just being a sarcastic asshole, she probably hears it all the time. That same woman opens up the door and she goes, oh, well, that goes perfectly with your 10 years old comment. And I go, yeah, I made a mistake. Thank you for rubbing it in my face.
You can't open the bathroom door. The fact
Yeah.
that like they knocked, and so they already clearly know that you're having a problem. Okay, but you ignore it. Like, no, I'm good.
I got this. And I literally, I'm trying to be discreet because people can hear me. We haven't even taken off yet. So I'm like, I give it one good, like on the crease. I'm like, one good one.
All I can
And it's
picture is
still
from
just
the outside.
Yeah.
I felt so embarrassed. So anyways, and then the second time I go, I make it work, right? But still both times didn't even flush the toilet. And there's a lot coming out. So it was so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Oh man, I gotta admit that was some super funny stuff. Like I thought it was just gonna be like, yeah, I got stuck in there and like I had to ask for somebody to get out, but you like stepped it up and I'm almost teary-eyed. It was that good.
I thought it was going to be like poop related, and
Yeah.
it was just you stunk the plane up, and they had to get a new one or something.
I can't do that. I can't poop in planes. I've tried.
Same.
It's so hard.
I have not tried, never want to try. I make sure that I don't. So on one of my, since we're talking about this, airplane rides, one of the, I think it was the last business trip I took, and I was going to Minnesota. Went to Minnesota, it was all fine. Coming home from Minnesota, had the worst stomach issues ever, and we can all imagine what I mean. Okay, and I have never on a plane. Don't ever want to on a plane. So, like, I like went like 4 times before I get on this plane, just because that's how bad this issue is.
That's impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go and I'm like, squeeze my butt cheeks together, going to like every little newsstand, Hudson News and everything else. I'm like, does anybody got Pepto-Bismol? Finally find it. I hammered, like, you're only supposed to have like 4 of those. I hammered like 10 of those things because I'm like, I am not shitting my guts out on this airplane.
It's amazing.
Yeah. That's, I mean, 1, it's hard to do. 2, I mean, if you got a good one, that plane is going to smell, and they know it's you, especially the flight attendants, right? They're always back there. So embarrassing.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I've never even attempted to. Okay. So if you go, or you're trying to go, and it wasn't coming out, did you ever think of just still staying on the seat and pressing the button to just see if it'll suck it out of your butt?
I don't know if that's a serious question or not.
I don't know if you have an answer for me.
Do have some have some power.
The whole room is like,
yeah. You think they just drop it off the plane and just like a hole that just goes?
They're called Boeing bombs.
Yeah, I believe that.
No, that's a space peanut. Andy, do you have any good plane stories besides, sitting next to Bret Michaels and becoming best friends for the next 30 years of your life?
That was a good plane story.
No. And I traveled a lot. Not really. I mean, I think there was like one time I got on a plane and I was in an exit row. I always sat in the exit row. And in some Southwest or I guess American flights, there's 2 instead of the 3 seats, right? So the first row, there's 2. The second row, there's 3. So I'd always sit in the second row in the third chair because you had all that leg room. I was sitting there, and these people got on, and they had face coverings, and this was a long time ago. And as soon as they sit down, they bust open some Clorox wipes and just start wiping everything down, the chair, the armrest, and I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there like this, and I'm watching this. The woman sat right there, and I'm watching this woman, and she's doing this, and then she looks back and sees me. She's like, "Oh, would you like some?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I think I'll be okay in my 2-hour flight. Nothing's gonna get me. I'm not gonna get SARS or some shit like that. Like, I'll be fine." Other than that, I mean, I've gotten on the wrong airplane 3 or 4 times. I don't really have any other.
And I just don't even understand how that is like possible. Like I've been stopped,
I don't know.
like trying to get on the airplane because you end up with a connection sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I try to give them the connection paper versus not, and they're like, no, do not pass go. If you cross over that threshold, we will throw you into hell immediately.
Nope, never happened. I scan my boarding pass. I walk down. There was one time as I'm on the plane and I see that somebody's in my chair. The lady was like chasing me down through the little jetway. And that was it. Any other time it happened, I was just, you're trying to figure out why is somebody in my seat or why am I in somebody's seat? And then they're like, oh, you're on the wrong plane. That walk of shame is kind of an embarrassment.
Well, how do you do that? They scan your ticket.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't even make any sense.
All the way on the plane?
Yeah. I was in my seat and nobody knew until I handed my boarding pass to the flight attendant for her to try to figure out why we both had the same flight. And she's like, oh, this is the wrong flight.
Wow. So did you miss your flight?
No. It was 2 hours later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
I always go to the airport like super early. I just love to watch people and just kind of hang out and whatever.
I do to the airports that I don't. But to Phoenix, like my last trip for the funeral, I got there an hour before. That's it. And I just went. It literally, when Corey dropped me off, it took me 5 minutes probably to literally get to my gate.
Dude,
yeah,
that is it.
If we do Vegas trips, we just roll in and just go right to the gate. Hopefully we're boarding,
Yeah.
Man, I'm one that always gets to the airport early too. And we literally got on the tram from the where you park, the parking lot, like exactly 2 hours early. I'm like, man, we're good. Took my son with me, my wife and my son. And I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna take us a little bit longer to get through just because, hey, I'm carrying a ridiculous amount of stuff, car seat and everything else. Mm-hmm. So I go walk in the place, go downstairs. First off, you got to take like 18 different elevators in this airport. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, it's not until you have to use a stroller and you can't go down the escalator that you realize, oh no, I have to, from the parking garage, take an elevator from like the 3rd floor, which I can directly see the tram. Literally, I could almost reach out and touch it. It's 10 feet away, down to the bottom floor, across, into another elevator, back up to the 3rd floor. I'm not kidding you. It's like 10 feet away. In order to get to that, now you get off, you go on the tram, it drops you off. You got to get off of that tram, get on an elevator, drop to the lower floor to walk across the skywalk to then get on another elevator to go another 3 stories down. It's like, what is going on?
I'm not kidding you. I followed you exactly. I know exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
Like I see all those elevators and there's so many escalators too. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, the escalators, it's like you're on it and you're going, but you can't take that with a stroll. I mean,
you don't have to wait for the doors to close.
Like I would have got on it if I wasn't. It had 3 bags, and the stroller, and anyway. So.
Yeah. Wow.
So I got there. We get down to the check-in, and we're already pre-checked. Sorry, not pre-checked. We have already have our boarding passes, but I got to check my luggage. So we get down there, and it is the longest line I have seen since 2008. I'm like, oh my god! Like there are not exaggerating, at least 150 people in front of us. I'm like, wow. Holy crap. And then, so we get through that line and then go up, and the freaking security line's the exact same thing. And I'm not like you guys where I don't have pre-check. So, yeah, I'm like, yeah. So get through all that. We're not rushing, but it's like, okay, time's clicking away here. Go to the bathroom, to change Byron, take a whiz, then walk up to the gate, and they're already like 3 groups past our group of boarding. I'm like, man, that actually worked out great because there was no delay time, but also at the same time, I was there 2 hours early.
Yeah, and barely got there. How is it traveling with a baby? Is it really that bad?
Not really from the standpoint.
Well, you guys have an amazing kid, right?
Well, yeah.
So like,
it depends upon if you want to talk about the stress level. Redonkulous. Like, just trying to think of yourself getting to a gate on time and stuff. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about
carrying a stroller, having a backpack, having a crying baby potentially.
The moment we checked, got our bags checked at the gate, I felt better because we're no longer carrying so much stuff. Now it's more just about dealing with him and the stroller and the one bag we got for him. And this was the first time with him as a toddler. He was a baby before and just slept, so it was easy. And then you get on the plane and there's a stress level of, is this kid going to have an absolute meltdown? And he's going to be that kid on the plane, right? And he wasn't. Go in there completely fine. Ryan's like, I did, and I was,
That was totally me.
Yeah. You're like,
I embarrassed the shit out of my parents.
You're like, I was 29 years old and I couldn't get out of a bathroom.
I don't think my parents, I don't think I told them that story. So hopefully when they finally choose to listen to one, that they listen to this one.
Yeah.
They were on that same plane.
Yeah, but stress level of him, having a meltdown on the plane, we read every single thing possible to try to be like, okay, prepared for anything. A, have a million snacks. B, we don't usually let them watch tablets or TV that much. We're always doing stuff. And so at that moment, I'm like, here's a tablet, got it all preloaded with a whole bunch of different videos and stuff. He was on it like that. And then if he was about to have a freak out moment, we had little presents, which are like from the dollar store, like, Cookie Monster and some like a go-kart little thing and stuff that he could play with. Completely fine going there. Coming home, he fell asleep as we were taking off, and then like 20 minutes in, had a 25-minute like meltdown because I'm pretty sure it was his ears, right? And
in the airport or on the plane?
On the plane.
Oh,
on the plane. So like it literally had an absolute meltdown. And, like I felt bad, right? And like you're trying to like comfort him and like everybody else that's around you, you're like, oh god, kids, because I used to be that person.
I still am.
Yeah. So if you're talking
like
difficulty, I didn't feel like it was more difficult other than you're just carrying around a ridiculous amount of extra luggage. The stress level was what was like, oh my god, this is like, no.
Yeah. Ooh, no thanks.
But it was like one of those trips where, like me, whenever I go on a vacation, like we're usually going to like a resort, like a sandals resort or something, I'm a little stressed on those because right? Because I don't want to screw up the flights going there because it eats into my vacation time. So I'm kind of always stressed way early for those because I do not want to get anything screwed up. Going home, I could care less if I missed the flight going home, So it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to bring up the next topic. Sorry, I was waiting for my computer to load. All right. Next up, because there's some news coming out and they're rumors, nothing's been absolutely guaranteed. But what are some shows that you loved as a kid that you wish you could do as an adult? And I'm guessing almost all of them were on Nickelodeon, right?
Yep.
And the one that I'm bringing up, I think I shared with you guys, I did because it's higher up in the Discord, right? Is Legends of the Hidden Temple is rumored to be coming back, but for adults.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And if you don't want to be a purple cobra, I don't know what's wrong with you. So, would you go on the show as an adult and totally play Legends of the Hidden Temple as an adult?
100%.
Do you feel
102%?
Okay, do you both feel like, why was it so damn hard for everybody to put the monkey statue together? Because it was like 3 pieces, and clearly one was the head, one was the base. All you got to do is turn the middle section until it fits.
Stress, man.
Yeah, and you're 12.
That's true.
Yeah.
I literally watched one of my coworkers today. It's like a stupid, simple accessory that we have, right? And he's one of our trainers. He goes out in the field and he puts stuff together in front of people, showing them how to do it, right? we're videotaping to try to get some training documentation on them, and we're videotaping him. It's like the first time he freaking touches this thing. He has no clue how to put it together, and it is the simplest thing ever. So that correlates directly to that right there. Stress, time crunch, pressure's on.
Yeah, somebody said it's like having a crying toddler on an airplane. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Totally. I think our adult brains, right, are logically going to know, okay, that's a hang up. So when we get to that point, yeah, we're going to be stressed out, but like all you got to focus, if it's 3 pieces, just focus on the middle one, right? Like that's all we got to really do. But as a kid, you're definitely not going to get that. And but so what is another show? I'm going to come to Ryan first. Ryan, what is another show? It doesn't have to just be Nickelodeon, but it's probably going to be a game show or something.
American Gladiators.
Yep.
Okay.
Friggin' tennis ball.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you which one was it gonna be, because mine was either gonna be the tennis ball thing that you're always just firing off at everybody, or
the trampoline one where you go boom, and then you jump and like throw the ball in the thing, and then you jump back down.
It wasn't that one. It was the big Q-tip thing that you like beat the other person with to get off. That they created as a kids game after that, but.
Oh, oh gosh, these are so good.
The most extreme challenge was probably the best, just purely because of the voiceover.
Oh yeah,
I think, but
the
nonsense they made those people do. I liked American Gladiators was a great one, but I liked where you got on the swing and you had to like propel yourself on the rope into the gladiator holding the little bag. I like that.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one either.
Yeah, you just like jumped on this rope swing and then you
tried to knock them off essentially.
Yeah, and they had this like big foam pad that you would use like in football or kickboxing or some shit. Yeah. They like embraced the impact, and if you got them off, then you won whatever.
Was that the slingshot one?
Might have been.
I freaking love these shows. Like these just bring back so many. Like I watched the crap out of American Gladiators. It was amazing. Yeah. The one where they had the obstacle course, and then at the end they had to like run through, and all the gladiators were pushing them, and where they had to dunk over the gladiators or something like that. They had to dunk on them as they were like getting pulled and stuff like that and pushed.
All right, I'm gonna see if we can do this all at once, because I got to share you guys a different screen than what everybody. Ryan,
so good.
You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah. So can the stream.
Yep. All right. Yep, so if we play, is it this guy?
Yes.
Is this the swing thing you're talking about?
This is the swing thing I was talking about, I think.
This one's cool, where you grab the ball. This ought
to be good, John. Nitro and Wolf and
Yes.
Man, there's a lot of these games like I just don't even remember like the crazy stuff that was going on.
But if you don't judge your swing correctly, like you're totally thrown off. Like look at that guy on the left right there.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's just like, I can't get it.
He's going all out for it and thinks that, not going to be a problem at all.
Yeah. And oh gosh, I love that one. They're all good, right? They're all around puzzles. They're all around like action. They're all around doing stuff. That's active and fun and challenges.
Ooh, the football one right there, the Roughhouse Powerball. That was a good one too. This is great.
That's the one I was talking about where you dunk on them.
Okay.
So good. For everybody that's listening, you have to go watch this one. Yeah, you have to go back and watch this one.
I forgot about these. What's really funny is, let me lower the volume on this. What's really funny about this is the names of these guys, because what I was going to ask you guys is, did you always have a favorite, dude? And why was it Laser? And why was everybody Laser, Blazer, or Taser? But me and my wife always watch a lot of MTV's The Challenge, which used to be Road Rules versus Real World. That was that challenge. Okay.
Yep.
And they just changed the name of it into The Challenge. And it's become like essentially like American Gladiators, because they do weird stuff like these games that are here where they're shooting people with stuff. There's this metal ball one, because this is the one I was going to mention before. If I get past the American, like this one where you got to roll over things and it sprays the CO2.
That was cool too. Yeah.
That guy's like 8 foot tall. He's somehow going to fit in this ball.
And all these people were like adults, like 31, 35.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Like this is already like wasn't already an adult thing. So if it
Yeah.
wasn't American Gladiators, what would you have picked, Ryan? Because like again,
Oh.
American.
I would have. So I've actually been to the Nickelodeon site in I think it's Orlando is
Yep.
where it's at.
Oh, cool.
I've watched Slime Time live, and
Okay.
it was really cool to watch. But I'm not trying like nowadays. I don't really need slime dumped on me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for more like active challenges, difficulty, uh, um, like obstacle courses. There you go. Couldn't think of it. That's what I'd be looking for now. And if they brought all that stuff back, ooh,
Yeah. Somebody in the chat. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say along that line, I would pick Guts.
Yeah,
That was probably the best show.
That was gonna be like besides the Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts. Like I always wanted to climb the aggro crag, like because it's like one of those stuff falling at you and you smack the thing and the CO2 cannons go off. Like that was just like my jam. Like I felt like but that was like really American Gladiators for kids, minus the big tall thing. I guess no, it was like a dead copy. Now that I think of it, it's a dead copy because even American Gladiators had where you had to climb up the pyramid. Right, and run away from the guys, and then there was somebody at the top that would always like kick you in the face, and you know.
Was there a giant monkey at the bottom throwing barrels? At the top throwing barrels?
No, wait, that's. I feel like you got to be 2-bit and just be like.
I'm just kidding.
What was another good one? Any Double Dare stuff, right? Family Double Dare, regular Double Dare, that was great. That would have been fun, and you always like want to go with your best friend and. Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, and with Guts, always like Mike O'Malley, like I just liked as an announcer, and he was always like, "Let's for the leaderboard," and he's like, "All right, let's for the official announcement, let's go to Mo."
Yeah,
like,
Mo.
Mo. Like, who is that actually her name? Because it's just Mo.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is there any in the chat that we haven't seen? Most Extreme Elimination. They did remakes. Yeah, they remade Slime and they remade Double Dare as well. Like Anisha Tyler is the host of Double Dare, and like I watched it for a few episodes just because I turned it on just to try to get some education to be funny about this show, and like wasn't as good. Like you really need Mark Summers. Like he's gonna be the jam in order to actually like make that along.
But I would imagine as long as it's around the same premise and you still have the same amount of action in games, how can you go wrong? But okay, now that I just said that, the host makes the show. If you got a bad host, you can watch all the games you want and they're like, why is this person so bad? You forget about the games. You're like, they're so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and the host can literally make something that could be entertaining, right? Like could be energetic, and they're just like, okay, there's Jim. He's going through the basketball hoop now.
But I think there is one modern day game. I don't really think the challenge, Ryan. I see it, but I don't see it. It's like it's different challenges, but you're almost right.
Yeah.
But what is the water one that oh my gosh. The wrestler hosts now.
Oh, John Cena.
John Cena hosts a new show.
Wipeout.
Wipeout.
No.
That is a very similar type thing.
Actually, there's two different ones. John Cena did one that was like called American Grit. That was like crazy challenges that were kind of like what military people do and everything. I don't think that's what you're talking about. Then there's Wipeout, which again didn't have a wrestler on it. There was one where Mike the Mizana, that dude, who is a wrestler. He did it, and it's some off-brand, but it's almost exactly like Wipeout, but like more ridiculous. Instead of things hitting you in the nuts, it was like they were gonna launch you like 60 feet in the air, and then you land, in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just so good. I enjoy.
Okay, Brian, do you remember a show called Funhouse?
I mean, I don't.
That name sounds familiar.
Unfortunately, there's two Ryans on the show.
Yeah, you have to look it up. Well, I count you out because you don't even know Tommy Boy and.
Hey, don't stoop that low for me.
Was it on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, it was Nickelodeon.
Oh yes, Eric Hayes. Here I gotta move stuff back around again so that way everybody can see it. If you're stream this generic monitor, I know you're seeing yourself, and then that over there. This thing.
One time. This is just something that you go to like a fair and do.
Yeah.
There's only one way to keep Tiny quiet, and this is it.
This guy at?
That's the only way to do it. Thanks, Tiny. All right, welcome to Funhouse. How's it going, everybody?
So
We got a
lost.
great
I've
new
never seen
Funhouse
this.
for you and new ways to speed through it.
So
Check
this
it.
was only
Here's
on
how we play the game.
for like a minute.
This
It was on for 3 years, 88 to 91.
Yeah, that's a really short time.
Yeah.
This had to have like predated Double Dare because this like literally looks like a ghetto version. Okay, random fact time. What was Nickelodeon called prior to changing their name to Nickelodeon back in 1982? Actually, I don't know the year that it changed, but I do know what it used to be called.
I'm sure you're looking at it. I have no clue.
I'm not. This is actually right off the top of the dome, the Pinwheel Network.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Pinwheel Network.
It was called the Pinwheel Network.
Yeah, I'm 75% sure that that's the name of it. But like
Interesting.
some of the very first shows, I know Ryan wouldn't remember this, but do you remember You Can't Do This on television, Andy?
Best.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
that was the best.
that's where the sliming thing came from, everybody. Like, so if you don't
Mhm.
know the origins of the slime, you actually have to go back to You Can't Do That on television, and it was a bunch of the kids like
Like sketch comedy.
yeah sketch comedy where they're just doing the most ridiculous stuff ever back then.
Mhm. Which became essentially all that.
Yeah.
Years later.
Exactly. Yep. Now, I'm gonna throw out one here just because it's on the screen. The viewers can't see it yet, but something as an adult that I wanted to do, and I still want to do because they brought it back. Supermarket sweep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like first off, if you watch any of the old supermarket sweeps, how come every old dude has the exact same haircut? And that's almost like
Like a
my
helmet.
dad's prior to him, his hair going completely silver. Okay.
All right, now we're getting into slightly average Rogers time.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. But all the hair's good. But like one thing that like they must tell them extra rules that they don't tell everybody else. Okay. And what I mean by that is there has to be a rule about having the most ridiculous hair, because this is like
Sure.
80s, grunge band, Twisted Sisters. And second, why could you not? I know there was a number that you couldn't have over in your cart. It was like 3 or 5 of the same item. So I understood that rule. But why wouldn't you just go down the aisle and be like, put your arm out and then just, pile them in the cart? I feel like that would have been like way easier.
So you know what's
That
funny about that?
technology wasn't out yet.
The arm. The arm.
Yeah,
that just-
the arms didn't exist. Do you remember Ryan Cole? I don't know how it happened, but some little kids got to do these like toy runs in Toys R Us
Yes.
and get whatever they wanted for like 5 minutes. I always was like, why wouldn't I just run down the video game aisle and just get everything?
Yep.
Or whatever. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Who's
even as a
coaching these
kid,
kids?
that goes back again to what we were talking about earlier about being a kid
Yeah.
that doesn't normally understand certain things. I was a kid and I understood that. I'm like, just like,
Yeah.
and knock them all down and bring them all in and like all it, like, and yes, I totally do remember that. And I totally remember wanting to be that kid. And you had to like sign some postcard piece. And like, the more you shopped, the more entries you got, like, and you had to like send your receipt in to like a PO box and they just randomly pick somebody. But I was a kid. I didn't understand sending stuff in.
No. So the last show I'll add here, only because I'm looking at this list, but I loved the game. I remember playing it in elementary school at the library. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes.
I
Yes.
That was a
remember that
game.
one.
Okay, that was a game for this is for 4 years, 91 and 95.
Let me ask a random question. The whole damn show's random, but
Yeah.
okay. I know Ryan's not gonna remember this, and Andy, you grew up in Arizona versus me growing up in Indiana for elementary school. So we had the most like jank computers back then because computers were jank. Like, it was the Apple IIe, and you like learned to type a little bit in elementary school. Then like I think it was 4th grade, there was this program called like, I'm trying to remember what it is, but it had like a weird little like wormy guy, and like it was basically just writing. Creative Writer. That's what it was. The name of it was Creative Writer, and you could like go through and like it was to write school projects and stuff. And you click on it and make all these different funny things, and it was like,
Okay.
it was. But do you remember any of that?
No, the only one I remember from going like to the computer lab or whatever was some like science game where you had these little beakers and they were like blue and greens, and you had to like mix them together, and you got like monsters or something. That was the only thing I remember.
Okay. Holy crap! I can't believe I found it. So this was a game that it wasn't really a game. It was just like trying to get you to use certain things. Where's the audio?
My gosh.
Dude, I just remember. Oh, this is totally in a different language, which makes it even better. You know, but you had to enter your name, and it's just this weird looking dude that's standing here. You know, that's like asking you how to go through different stuff.
I don't remember that.
This is like what Colin said is Clippy.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the kid
Dude.
wacky version of the
gosh.
paperclip for Word.
I loved that
So
guy.
this was literally the program. Like you clicked on different stuff and it would do things. So it just got you to use the computer and, you know, learn how to use the mouse. The guy walks around. But there were all these hidden things that you had to know how to do.
I remember some typing game where it was like, how many words a minute can you type? I remember that.
Yep.
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember doing that.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't like Lotus Suites, but it was like along those same ideas of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got way off topic, but it was like a
You
nostalgia.
guys are just
It's,
a little bit dating yourselves,
Hey,
okay? Just a
man.
little bit.
I'm-
It's okay.
I'm 37. All right.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. I'm so old that I'm almost not a millennial.
You guys still are though, right? You guys still are.
I am in.
Technically.
Technically.
Yeah. There's 2 different. Well, there's like 8 different versions of the calendars, and like almost all of them have 84 that jumps in and out. Like, well, this one's kind of on the like one claims it, one doesn't. The other one claims it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't. It's weird, but. Anyway, we had more topics for this week, but this show was already running long because we've just gone off on some crazy shit show tangents. We appreciate everybody joining us this week, and with the long delay between. We'll be back again next week for some more shenanigans. So please join us.
We'll be back.
We'll be back with the more shenanigans that you have. If you got any topics you want us to talk about, shoot them to us at slightlyaverageguys@gmail.com, and we will see everybody next week.